centers. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Science and Technology in the state, Mrs. Lola Muda, through the information unit, Ololuwa Meshak, said the placement examination would hold across the 18 local government areas of the state by 9 a.m. in the morning. Mrs. Amuda enjoined parents and guardians to ensure that their children and wells get to examination centers early in the morning, as accreditation of candidates begins by 8 a.m. All candidates are to come to the examination centers with their registration slips and writing materials. Vote buying has unconsciously crept into the Nigeria's political trajectory, and to all intents and purposes, the abnormality seems to be enjoying its momentum. But most patriotic Nigerians have raised the red flag, arguing that vote buying is not a good road to travel, else the country's democracy slides into a ditch. Julia Buna reports that the consensus raises a grave concern about the unholy transaction.
Reflecting money received after selling their votes to buyer or buyers, as the case may be, on behalf of party candidates or candidates. It has become an open transaction and gladly embraced by electorates as a share of national cake. A clear departure from those days when rampant and widespread ballot box snatching, political thuggery, and falsification of figures at collation centers defined election rigging in Nigeria. Today, vote buying and selling is the name of the game. Election observers, monitoring groups, and civil society organizations have coined vote buying as a new way of rigging elections by political actors in the country. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) was said to have arrested some persons for alleged vote buying during the recent governorship election in Ekiti State. While vote buying is punishable under the Nigerian Electoral Act, but the enforcement of the law remains a challenge.
To hash out a serious plan on how to enforce it. Enforcement. For instance, some people are arrested in Ekiti. Let's get these people to courts. Let them be prosecuted. Not just them, let's get more people. In some of these communities, some of these streets, they know the agents or parties who distribute this money. Some of them get this money the night before, or that morning, or the morning of the election. Let's raid those rumored agents of political parties who are coming to distribute money. Let's raid them in the morning. Let's raid them at night. Well, if anytime anybody we find cash upon around the polling unit, let's arrest them. Let's prosecute them. By the time we start using people as examples, everybody will sit up. But the way we have done it now, we're making it free for all.
There's supposed to be a mobile court. Once you are caught and evidence is abound, something's supposed to happen immediately.
Referencing the just concluded governorship election in Ekiti State, an observer, Mr. Martins Alok, prescribed technology as one of the ways out of monetary inducement during elections.
To reduce the costs that we are spending on election. You see, a lot of things, if we introduce this technology, it will help us. It will develop our society. It will develop us mentally, and the people, also voters, also we have another knowledge of to know who they want to vote for, not the people just coming with the money or people with fame or whatever. We have a lot of people that they just have fame, but they don't have anything upset to give to people. You see, all this level, technology will minimize.
To do is to restructure the country. That's desperation on the part. Then you make a political offices less attractive.
There is palpable fear that if the phenomenon of vote buying and selling is not nipped in the bud, the credibility of Nigeria's electoral system hangs dangerously in the balance, and political scientists say we must rise to the challenge. Juliet Buna, Osrc News.
Over 10 million new voters have registered in the ongoing continuous voter registration CVR exercise across the country. This is according to the update for week 11 in the four-quarter released by the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) on Monday, June the 27th. Zaid Aribisala reports that the figure is destined to rise further as many Nigerians continue to throng registration centers in a bid to become eligible voters come 2023.
For instance, in Kichi Adebayo, who last voted in 1993, 2023 general election is an opportunity she does not want to miss, regardless of the challenges attached to getting a permanent voter card.
I voted last night since because of August was 1993. Since then I have not been voting because of this card issue. So this year I look at the online again that I want to vote. So I've registered since February now and I'm still looking for the card.
Data update from the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise by Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) for the first quarter shows that over 10 million Nigerians have registered. Indications that this figure will rise further is evident in the recent turnout of Nigerians to INEC offices. Here at the headquarters of the Commission in Ondo State, the change in narrative means INEC staff are preoccupied with handling myriads of requests by those who hope to vote in 2023. To meet these demands means constant power supply and internet connectivity.
I've been here since morning, around after 7.
Ever since I've been in this world, I've never done anything like PVC because I'm just ready for the stretcher, but now I'm happy that I own one.
I never knew they've started. I was thinking that initially they used to come to the street to come and issue it for us. I never knew they were staging it at the INEC headquarters in Akure here in Ondo State. So that is the reason why I kept late. I used my previous voter's card. That is why I want to vote, so that my vote will count.
INEC's head of voter education and publicity in Ondo State, Mrs. Olufemike Shifeso, said the 11th hour syndrome among Nigerians is responsible for the recent surge.
It is in the character of us Nigerians to come last minute. You know, we have the last minute rushing. When we've been conducting this registration exercise since June last year, and this is another June here, in about a year. There have been instances where we have stayed a whole week and we don't have any registrants coming in to register. Now that we want to end the registration, now there's so much crowd here. But anyway, we are up to the task. We are putting all efforts to make sure that everybody is registered. On the issue of the PVC, we are issuing now the PVCs as well. All the local government offices have the consignment of the PVCs, and anybody that goes there will be able to collect their PVCs.
Supporting INEC in this task, a non-governmental organization will say the advocacy must emphasize the need for voters to turn out on election day.
We take people from their house, bring them to INEC offices, and take them back to their house once they are done with their registration. So what we did is when we reached a consensus with INEC, they gave us 2 IVL machines with their staffs. So the people we mobilize and bring them down to this place, they get them registered. When some people don't have their PVCs and we are able to get them to INEC office to get their PVCs, that is when we can tell them to come out to vote. It is someone that has a PVC that can vote.
Well, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has confirmed that there will be an extension to the June 30th deadline for registration. The actual date for the closure of the window of opportunity for Nigerians still hangs in the balance. But regardless, the people here and many more who will still come are hopeful that they will seize the avenue to register and become voters come 2023. From the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Akure, Sahid Aribisala, Osrc News.
Nigeria Union of Journalists (NUJ) Ondo State has elected Mr. Meshak Olaoluwa of the State Information Chapel new State Secretary of the Union. Olaoluwa was elected on the post during the by-election of the Union held yesterday at the Press Center, Akure. So in the new secretary, the State NUJ Chairman, Leke Adegbite, charged him to be a team player both with other ESCO members and entire journalists in the state. Mesha, who is the immediate past chairman of State Information Chapel, started his journalism career at Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation, Osrc, almost 3 decades ago. The National Bureau of Statistics, in collaboration with World Bank, has commenced training of enumerators ahead of the National Agriculture Sample Census for 2022 in Ondo State. The Statistician General of Ondo State, Wole Agumbiade, said that the information gathered at the end of the exercise would assist government in planning for adequate implementation of its agricultural policy. Omori Olaugbeji reports that the event, which was declared open by the State Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Emmanuel Igbason, will train 72 participants for the next 4 days.
Long before the discovery of crude oil in Nigeria, agriculture has been the main economic booster, hence the need for critical evaluation in the sector to address the issue of food security in the country. Ondo State Statistician General Wole Agumbiade will further provide information about agricultural status of the state for necessary planning and policy making.
The exercise is to collect data on agriculture all over the states. This program is being done in all the 36 states and the federal capital simultaneously.
State Officer, Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, Gbenga Oluwoyeye, stated that the agency is anchoring the implementation of the project, saying the 72 participants would be distributed to the 18 local government areas of the state.
We have 4 enumerators by local governments, and each team will be divided into 2, and the listing will last for 50 days.
The State Director, National Orientation Agency, Layo Adifolalu, promised the agency's readiness to support the project so as to achieve the desired result.
We are all on ground in all the 18 local governments of Ondo State. So to employ the trainers, people that are going to do the animation, that when you get to where you are going to collect data, please do the right thing, be truthful. Don't let there be errors. Give the right data. Don't assume. Go there and see things for yourself.
Declaring the event opened, Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Emmanuel Igbason, lauded the initiative, saying it is paramount to Ondo State development trajectory of the present administration.
For this administration, we intend to take agriculture from the subsistence farming to an entrepreneurship level, in which we do not do the subsistence level. So when the structure, disaggregating it, and having timely and relevant data will ultimately enable us to have evidence-based planning and to plan for our people.
The implementation of this project is sponsored by the World Bank through the Fiscal Governance and Institution Project. Omori Olaugbeji, Osrc News.
The Ondo State government has urged traders in Ondo State to pay up their business premises levy for the year 2022. The Commissioner for Ministry of Commerce, Industries and Cooperative Services, Mrs. Lola Fagbemi, gave the charge during a flag-off of a sensitization on tax compliance in Akure, the Ondo State capital. Our reporter, Joy Pius, has details.
The Commissioner, Ministry of Commerce, Industries and Cooperative Services, Mrs. Lola Fagbemi, led staff of the ministry on a sensitization tour to businesses' outfits in Akure, the Ondo State capital. Mrs. Fagbemi, while sensitizing the business owners, stressed the need for payment of the business premises dues directly to the government coffer promptly and avoid payment through intermediaries, adding that Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu has been able to deliver a lot of electoral promises through internally generated revenue.
We've met some people that told us that they belong to one association or the other, and we told them that we are dealing with individuals, not with association, because according to the law, there are some stipulated amount to be paid by each shop owner, depending on the category of business premises that they have.
The Commissioner, while noting that the ministry is a revenue-generating ministry, said enforcement will begin for erring members of the public who fail to heed to directive.
We've seen so many of them that have not paid for year 2022, and we've encouraged them to pay. After this monitoring exercise, what we follow is full-scale enforcement for them to be able to pay. And what does the enforcement entail? It may entail locking up their shops and ensuring that those shops are not opened until they do the needful.
Some of the business owners who have complied with the directive encouraged others to do so to aid free flow of their businesses.
We don't have to bother about government coming to lock up the place or anything. Yes, we pay to the bank. For peace of mind, they should pay whatever bills they're supposed to pay to the government so they can run their business smoothly.
I already collected my ticket, so I'm now free.
The sensitization tour is expected to be implemented in the 18 local government areas of the state. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
Non-governmental organization Exemplar Friends Club International (EFCI) has presented scholarship awards to 14 secondary school students in Akure North and South local government areas of Ondo State. Presenting the scholarships at Oyemekun Grammar School, Akure, President of the club, Dr. Olajide Animasha, said the educational support is one of the club's cardinal programs to complement government's efforts in the education sector. Osrc's Richard Ilesomi reports that the gesture adds to the club's records of community development.
Beneficiaries of the scholarship awards were selected from Anglican Grammar School, Ijuita Ogbolu, Oyemekun Grammar School, Akure, Akure Secondary Commercial, Fewashaye Girls Grammar School, Ijapo High School, among others. President of the club, Olajide Animasha, said the motive is to touch lives and give hope to the hopeless whose educational dreams may be dashed for lack of funds. Animasha spoke through the club's General Secretary, Akinola Motayo, explained that members of the club are complementing government's efforts in raising Nigeria's future leaders.
It is also understandable that the ability or accessibility may be lacking for some families to support their children's education. Our hearts and minds go towards such families. It is hope that our little effort will touch such families and put smiles on their kids' faces.
While highlighting the club's community development projects to include yearly scholarship for students, orphanage outreach, health screening program, among others, Animasha said the gesture will be extended to students in Okitipupa, Laramoki, and Ote, Nose local government area.
We believe that this is an opportunity for us to give back to the society, then to complement the effort of the government, because we believe that government cannot do everything. So we sat down as in our club that let us contribute to the well-being of our people and of our community. That's why we started this program.
The Vice Principal for Oyemekun Grammar School, Mrs. Jumokeba Midili, commended the NGO for its show of love, saying the move will support the beneficiaries to be the best.
To them it is little, but I know to these parents it is much to them. Some of them, out of pain, even to send their children to school was very difficult. So even this money will relieve them of some of these problems.
Some of the students, their parents and teachers, who described the gesture as laudable, appreciated the Exemplar Friends Club International for coming to their aid, especially at a time that the harsh economic realities in the country are eating hard on them.
At this time of hardship and extreme poverty, you have deemed it fit at least to put smiles on the faces of our youth.
We teachers know what we are facing in the school. Many of them, they don't have textbooks. Even feeding at times, many of us, we give money to them for feeding.
I see it as a great opportunity to some less privileged.
And I thank the Exemplary Friends Club International for the great privilege given to my daughter.
The Exemplar Friends Club International had last year carried out free health screening in the metropolis to enable residents to know their health status and to promote a healthy society, among other programs with direct impact on the less privileged. Richard Ilesomi, Osrc News.
Nigerians, irrespective of their religion, are now taking up the challenge of supporting government in its efforts at protecting lives and property. The country has suffered numbers of security breaches leading to deaths of its citizens, with the Owe Church massacre in Ondo State as a recent occurrence. In Akure, the state capital, Osrc crew ran into a group of traditionalists offering sacrifices at every strategic junction for a means of warding off external aggressors. Our reporter, Richard Ilesomi, again reports.
While returning to office from our usual news hunting on Thursday, the 30th of June, our camera lens caught some traditional worshippers at this roadblock junction in Akure, the Ondo State capital. The unusual gathering caught our attention as we stopped to observe the proceedings here and what was about to take place. Moments later, the DJ of Akure, Obalade Toyinbolade Lucy, joined the traditional worshippers. Then it dawned on us that they were here to pray for Akure land. With the prayer items laid down to appease the gods, the DJ prayed over them with the echo of a chef from the worshippers, and it was capped with the slaughtering of a sacrificial dog whose blood was sprinkled on this portion of Akure Lesha Highway and Orita Beleokiod Road. The Lesha Awo of Akure Oluwagbinda Adebowale said the motive was to protect the city, and it will be replicated at every entrance to the state capital.
Bí àwọn olùgbòmí ìbáyìí bọ́ṣẹ́ lọ́pàá wọn ní ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì tó lọ́pàá wọn ní station a fẹ́ kí irú ẹ̀ kó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Àkúrẹ́ orúkọ mẹ́rin tó wọ̀ lọ́kùrẹ́ là ń dá yà lọ báyìí gbogbo tó wà Àkúrẹ́ pátá là ń yà lọ.
The move excited passers-by and onlookers who hailed the development.
Bó ṣe wá tó ń ṣàdúrà àdúpẹ́ pé àdúrà wọn á gbà lágbára la ní rí ogun ìdààmú mọ́.
Ohun ìran àṣẹ̀ǹbáyé sókò yẹ ká gbàgbé ẹ̀ wọ́n jẹ́ kí á rántí orísun ilẹ̀ Yorùbá so tí gbogbo nǹkan yẹn bá dẹ̀ ń lọ déédéé so gbogbo nǹkan máa lọ létòlétò àlè ti torí pé ọ̀làjú dé ká máa fojú egbò ká máa fi tẹ̀lẹ̀.
For those who believe in the efficacy of this traditional means of protection, the step will go a long way in protecting Akure from any invasion, as done by forefathers. Richard Lesomi, West House News.
And that's Sunshine Reports. Thanks so much for watching. Good afternoon.